Yeah. Former ambassador to the United Nations, you know that guy, John Bolton. Good morning, John.
Morning.
Ralph Reed, author of a brand new book called The Confirmation, and former executive director of the Christian Coalition. Good morning, Ralph.
Good morning.
And Carmen Segarra, attorney and deputy regional president for the Hispanic National Bar Association. Good morning to you as well, Carmen.
Good morning.
All right, Ambassador, yesterday Mr. Ahmadinejad said as well, war is not just about bombs, making it sound like, okay, if they mess with us, we're talking terrorism in the streets of the United States. What should this president do?
Well, what he should do is get serious about stopping Iran from getting nuclear weapons and telling the United Nations that failure to stop Iran is a huge failure for the organization. But I can virtually assure you that's not what he's going to do. He's already foreshadowed again that he's going to say he wants to sit down and negotiate with Iran. And it's a prescription for Iran to get nuclear weapons. It's that simple.
Carmen?
I agree with him. I think Iran already has them. But I also think Israel needs to be honest about whether or not they want this to move forward, for the simple reason that there was an article that came out in the newspaper a couple of days ago in Israel that talked about the fact that Israel is giving contracts to foreign companies that have contracts in Iran. So here we are pushing for sanctions, trying to get international companies from Denmark and Germany out of Iran, and Israel is not cooperating.
All right, Ralph?
Look, this is a regime that is the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world today. They're funding Hezbollah. They're funding Hamas. They've shot protesters in cold blood in their streets. This is the bloodiest and most dangerous regime in the world today. And
we're welcoming them here in New York without open arms.
If this regime obtains a nuclear weapon, Steve, this is one of the most dangerous moments, not only in the post-Cold War period, but in modern history. And what Obama should do is two things. Number one, working with our allies, he should actually strictly enforce the sanctions that were passed by Congress, including prohibiting subsidiaries of U.S. corporations from doing any business with Iran. Number two, he needs to make it abundantly clear that he will take decisive action, including military action if necessary, to disarm Iran.
Well, Ambassador, aren't we past the point of military action? I heard you on the radio talking to Sean Hannity about, if we're going to do anything, we've got to do it before they power this thing up. And they've already started that.
Well, Iran has a belt and suspenders approach to its nuclear weapons program. It can produce weapons through the plutonium route because of the Bushehr reactor, which is now online. And it can produce weapons through enriched uranium, which is its continuing program. So we're already behind the curve. I just don't think it's in President Obama's nature even to think about military force. And Ahmadinejad recognizes that. That was the voice of a man who's calm. He thinks he's on track. He doesn't see any major obstacle to achieving that long-sought objective of getting nuclear weapons.
Well, there's another option, and that is Israel. But they're being restrained by this administration.
There you go. All right, guys, stick around here on the Kirby Couch. We're going to continue the conversation to talk about that bombshell new book from Bob Woodward detailing the infighting between the president and his military advisors. Then the Secretary of State's new foreign policy push, ovens for third world countries.
Buy a suit, get two free at Joseph A. Bank. Just buy one and get two. That's two handcrafted